Well, we have got a fascinating little blow up happening on the far right. Let's start with the players in this saga. Obviously, Donald Trump is a player. Another player is the court fixer, Leonard Leo, who you may recall from being the fixer in the painting with Harlan Crow, the donor billionaire who helped give Clarence Thomas Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, and of course, Clarence Thomas, their pet justice. Then another player is what I call the polluter page, the Wall Street Journal editorial page, which has been a mouthpiece for the Koch brothers and fossil fuel interests. A minor player, but its name comes up a lot, is the Federalist Society. And then, of course, not mentioned, but essential to the plot here, is the Federalist Society political operation. So the blow-up began when Trump went to his Truth Social, whatever it is, outlet, and blasted Leonard Leo and the Federalist Society. He said that the Federalist Society was under the thumb of Leonard Leo, who he described as a real sleazebag, a bad person, and someone who in his own way probably hates America. So that's pretty rough stuff. The background to this, of course, is that when Trump was running, he needed to get some right-wing credentials about the Supreme Court, and he went to Leonard Leo to sort out his Supreme Court problem. More on that later. But Leo remains a powerful fixer in this court operation. He funnels money to Clarence Thomas and to his wife. He escorts Alito on fancy, expensive, free, undisclosed vacations. He has been essential to the billionaire gifts operation that has been deployed in literally millions of dollars. So according to Trump, he also, and I'm quoting here, openly brags that he controls judges. Well, clearly he doesn't say that publicly, but the fact that it's gotten back to Trump, that Leo brags about controlling judges, is really quite a tell. Just for a last little pot shot, it looks like he also called him a backroom hustler. So that's the first punch thrown. Then in comes the polluter page, the dear old Wall Street Journal editorial page, that takes some shots at Trump. It says, in Mr. Trump's universe, the only good judge is one who always rules in his favor. And that is not, and I quote here, what federal judges are supposed to do. They defend the Federalist Society by saying that the reason Trump is mad is because the Federalist Society didn't propagate the big lie. And they say, well, they're not political. They're not supposed to propagate the big lie. And then apparently Leo did not give enough money to Trump-supporting organizations. One of Leo's little rewards for his successful court packing is a $1.6 billion slush fund that he gets to run that can funnel money into political operations. And apparently he didn't, and that is resented. Then the Wall Street Journal said that Leonard Leo helped Trump pull together the Federalist Society list when he was running for president. And here's where it gets interesting. Because if you go back to that moment, the Koch empire is at war against Trump. They despise everything about him. And when all the other Republican candidates go out to kiss the ring at the Koch brothers' annual suck-up fest, Trump won't go and makes fun of all of the rest of them. So there's open combat happening between House of Koch and House of Trump. And magically, before the election, the Kochs lay off of Trump. And at about the same time, the mysterious Federalist Society list of justices is announced by Trump, courtesy Leonard Leo, and a Federalist Society guy who was actually injected into Trump's Whitehouse as counsel a guy named Don McGahn. So Leo and McGahn helped pull the so-called Federalist Society list together. Stop there a minute. It's a so-called Federalist Society list because never in the history of the Federalist Society did it have any Supreme Court list on its agenda. It never voted to approve it. It never considered it. It was called that by Trump. But it looks like the real story is that it was the Koch brothers who were running Leonard Leo, who were running Don McGahn, who were cooking up the list of justices they want. And that causes me to believe that the peace that was brokered between House of Koch and House of Trump had as its quid pro quo that Trump would let the Kochs pick his Supreme Court justices. And then, of course, because nobody in business believes a word that comes out of Trump's mouth, it wasn't enough to cut the secret deal. They had to make it public in some way. And that's where Leo and McGahn came up with the list. So that Trump would have to publicly say, I will pick one of these secretly Koch-chosen justices. And now he's on the record, and the Kochs were comfortable enough with their ability to pick his justices that they backed off and indeed supported Republican field operations big time in that election, and that helped Trump win. So other things out of the polluter page. One, it takes a pot shot at Mike Davis, who was the operative in the Judiciary Committee protecting Barrett and Gorsuch and the very troubled Kavanaugh as they came through. They take a shot at him, saying that what he wants is reliably partisan rulings, as opposed to wanting like real conservative judges. He wants, and I'm quoting the Wall Street Journal polluter page here, reliably partisan rulings. And then they end on a really, dark comically note, where they say that there's a danger that Justices Alito and Thomas might, quote, be replaced by partisan hacks. Oh my, that really is something else. So it's quite a drama, and it looks like the backstory to this whole drama is that Trump is starting to figure out that he didn't actually choose his Supreme Court justices, that the Koch brothers, or the surviving Koch brother by then, and the Koch political operation, working through Leo and through McGahn, chose his Supreme Court justices, and that he was the chump in the deal. The Kochs and the Koch political operation got the justices they want. Leo and McGahn were the minions of the Koch operation. Trump went along with it because he bought peace, but he did not know that actually his 3 justices were appointed by the Koch political operation. And I don't think he likes that very much, so that may explain why he's suddenly lashing out at Leo and the Federalist Society. The Federalist Society, at the end of the day, had almost nothing to do with this. They were just wallpaper here. Leo was the operative of the Koch operation. McGahn went into the White House, was a Koch operative in the White House. Between the Kochs, Leo, and McGahn, they put together the justices that they want. Trump went ahead and did it. Nobody clued him in on the joke, and now he's a little ticked off. What a tale.